Well, breaking tonight, Hunter Biden trying to avoid a trial in Delaware, now filing to dismiss an indictment in federal court over gun charges. The first son also facing tax charges here in California, something the White House is refusing to comment on. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and federal litigator Vic Bajaj. Vic, great to have you on. The Washington Examiner writes the following, putting the headline up here. Hunter Biden moves to dismiss gun case, argues David Weiss is illegitimate special counsel. What do you think of that argument? Does it fly?
Well, it's an interesting argument. It's not one that's really viable. This has happened before. This jurisdictional issue is not going to be a fatal flaw to the indictment. That will fail. Yeah,
it's interesting because the National Review, Andy McCarthy, wrote the following here. The Hunter Biden tax indictment is a disaster for the White House. He goes on to say, if the case were ever to go to trial, it would be very embarrassing for the Biden administration. The indictment's background allegations get into schemes with various agents of corrupt and anti-American regimes from whom the Biden family business reeled in millions of dollars. And he ended the statement by saying there are neon flashing problems at the White House. Is that a fair assessment on Andy's part?
Absolutely. You know, many times you try the case in front of a jury, but you have to present facts in the indictment. And in this case, the special prosecutor said it's not a question of Hunter Biden being too broke, couldn't afford it. You know, we can't punish the poor that can't afford to pay the debts or the obligations to the government. But you can prosecute those who could have but chose willfully not to. This is why you see the salacious details of the prostitutes, the drugs, the expensive travel, the tax deductions that were not properly founded being outlined in the indictment, which is a quite colorful indictment. What it is, from a defense attorney's point of view, is a message. Hey, by the way, if you tickle the bear a little too much, this is what the jurors and the public are going to hear. Maybe you should make a deal.
And it looks ugly. I mean, it really does. It looks ugly. And if you're running a campaign, if you're running for president and you see the things that your son is doing and you're running on, oh, you know, that he's not paying their fair share of taxes, and then your son's, you know, getting all the hookers and so forth, not paying taxes, it looks very bad politically, right?
Absolutely. It's the pot calling the kettle black, as they say. And this is exactly what voters and jurors don't like. We do not like a two-tier system of justice, and we don't like elites being taken care of and saying, hey, you know, if someone knocks on my door, no problem, I'll just wire the money. But until then, let me go on my trip with a couple of these young ladies there and have some fun.
Yeah, he had the money. He just spent it on different things than taxes. One quick question on Trump. FoxNews.com writes, Special Counsel Jack Smith asked the Supreme Court to rule on whether former President Donald Trump can be prosecuted on charges relating to his efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Shouldn't this first go to a court of appeals, Vic? Before you go to the Supreme Court, don't you have to kind of go up the ladder?
Yes, absolutely right. The Court of Appeals has to weigh in on this issue. But in some certain circumstances where time is of the essence, and in this case, time being of the essence is of the making of the special prosecutor. They want this case to go to trial quickly in March. So they're saying, look, Court of Appeals, thanks, but no thanks. Let's just skip you and go straight to the Supreme Court, a move we haven't seen since the 1974-75 with the dispute about Nixon's subpoenas. An odd move. I doubt the Supreme Court is going to bite. I think the Court of Appeals will still have a bite at the apple.
We shall find out. Vic Bajaj, great to see you as always. Thank you.
Thank you.